You know, there is a specific kind of silence that happens right before a storm hits. It is not peaceful. It is just heavy. It is the kind of silence that makes your ears ring, because you know, deep down, that everything you thought was solid is actually made of glass. My name is Elena. In my family, I was always the grease monkey. While my sister Chloe was busy curating her life as a luxury lifestyle influencer in Malibu, and my brother Julian was climbing the corporate ladder in Manhattan, I was back home in our gritty corner of Pennsylvania, keeping my hands dirty. I am a heavy diesel mechanic. I spend my days covered in oil, smelling like exhaust and hard work, and I love it. Or I thought I did, until I realized that to my own mother, I was the family's dirty little secret. See, for 10 years, I was the one who stayed. When my dad passed away and left my mom with a house she couldn't afford and a mountain of medical debt, Chloe sent thoughts and prayers from a yacht in Greece. Julian sent a $100 gift card to Starbucks. I took every overtime shift the shop would give me. I crawled under rusting semi-trucks at 3 a.m. just to make sure the mortgage was paid. I was the ghost in the machine, the one keeping the lights on, the fridge full, and my mother's perfect life intact, all while she treated me like the help. The snap happened 3 months ago. It was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. Well, my mom's celebration of the life she used to have with Dad. She had been planning this golden gala for a year. It was all about the aesthetic. White linens, gold-rimmed plates, and, most importantly, the grand family portrait. I had spent $5,000 of my own savings to pay for the catering. I even took a week off work, unpaid, to help her stage the venue. But on the morning of the event, I was in the back garden, hauling heavy crates of decorations. My nails were stained with the permanent black ink of engine oil, a mark of my trade that never truly washes away. My mother walked out, looking like a queen in silk. She didn't look at my face. She looked at my hands. She made this clicking sound with her tongue. That sound. I can still hear it. "Elena, honey," she said, her voice dripping with that fake, sugary concern. "The photographer is here for the main portrait. Chloe and Julian look spectacular, but your hands and that tan line from your work vest, it ruins the legacy look we're going for." I stood there, holding a 30-pound crate, and I just stared at her. I said, "Mom, I'm your daughter. I'm the one who's been here every day." She didn't even flinch. She just straightened her pearls and said, "I know, dear, and we appreciate the manual labor. But for the photo, the one that's going in the magazine, we've decided it's best if it's just the professionals. You understand, right? It's about the brand of this family. Maybe you can stay in the kitchen and make sure the appetizers stay warm. You're so good at managing things back there." She turned around and walked away. She didn't look back. I watched her join Chloe and Julian, who were posing like royalty, laughing, glowing, looking like they hadn't worked a day in their lives. Because they hadn't. And that was it. The glass finally shattered. I didn't scream. I didn't make a scene. I didn't even drop the crate. I just set it down, very quietly. I went to the guest bathroom, washed the dirt off my face one last time, and I walked out the back gate. I didn't take my car, which my mother borrowed constantly. I called an Uber to my shop. That night, while the Golden Gala was in full swing, while they were clinking glasses to a legacy that was built on my aching back, I sat in my office and opened my banking app. For 5 years, I had an automated transfer, $2,000 every single month, that went straight to my mother's mortgage and utility accounts. It was set to recurring. I hit cancel. Then I went to the cell phone plan. I was paying for all 4 of us. I hit remove line for everyone but myself. Finally, I went to the family group chat. The photos were already rolling in. Chloe had posted the portrait. The caption read, "The 3 Musketeers, successes in the blood." I wasn't in a single frame. I wasn't even mentioned in the thank you notes. I typed 5 words. "I am done being invisible." Then I blocked them. Every single one. The first week was strange. My phone was silent. I realized, for the first time in my adult life, I had money, my own money. I wasn't subsidizing Chloe's lifestyle or paying for Julian's networking dinners. I felt light, but I also felt cold. About 10 days later, the storm finally reached the shore. I was at the shop, elbow deep in a Caterpillar engine, when my foreman told me there was a woman at the gate. It was Chloe. She wasn't wearing silk this time. She looked stressed. Her main character energy was flickering like a dying light bulb. "Elena, what the hell is going on?" she shrieked as soon as I wiped my hands and walked over. "My phone was cut off. I lost 3 brand deals because I couldn't access my email. And Mom is hysterical. She got a notice from the bank. Apparently, the mortgage hasn't been paid. She thought it was a mistake." I leaned against the chain link fence and just looked at her. "It wasn't a mistake, Chloe. I canceled the transfers." She blinked. She actually looked confused. "But why? You always pay it. That's what you do. You're the responsible one. You're the one who handles the boring stuff." "I'm the grease monkey, remember?" I said, my voice as flat as a Kansas highway. "And since my aesthetic ruins the family legacy, I figured I should take my dirty money and go live my own life. If the 3 of you are the musketeers of success, surely you can figure out how to pay a $3,000 mortgage, right?" "Elena, don't be dramatic," she hissed. "Mom is 65. She can't go back to work. And Julian just bought a Tesla. He can't help. You're being selfish. You're hurting the family because of... what? A photo? It was just a photo." "It wasn't the photo, Chloe," I said, stepping closer. "It was the fact that you all let me pay for the stage, while you made sure I was never allowed to stand on it. You want the legacy? You pay for it. Now, get off my job site. I have actual work to do." I walked away. I could hear her screaming behind me, calling me ungrateful, calling me a bitter, lonely girl. I just kept walking. 2 months went by. I heard through the grapevine. Small-town gossip is faster than fiber optic. That my mother had to put the house on the market. Julian had to sell his Tesla at a loss. Chloe? She stopped posting about luxury and started posting about the struggle of being a creator. It turns out, when the lowly daughter stops being the ATM, the successful kids have to face reality. Last night, I got a voicemail. It was from my mother. Her voice sounded old. No more sugar. No more pearls. "Elena," she said, and I could hear her crying. "They're foreclosing. The bank, they won't listen to me. Chloe won't answer my calls, and Julian says he's refocusing his finances. I'm going to lose everything. Please, I know I was insensitive. I know I didn't see you. But we're family. Blood is thicker than water, Elena. Please, just this once. Save the house." I listened to it 3 times. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 6 months ago. I would have been in my car before the message ended. I would have sacrificed my own future to save her from the consequences of her own choices. But then, I looked at my hands. They were still stained. They were still unpolished. But they were mine. I didn't call her back. Instead, I opened my laptop. I had been scouting a new location, a bigger shop, one where I could hire 3 more mechanics and start my own fleet service business. I had the down payment, exactly the amount I would have spent saving her house. I clicked submit on the loan application. See, here is the lesson they never teach you in those family first movies. Blood might be thicker than water, but you can drown in blood just as easily. Respect is not a manual labor task. Love is not something you hide in the kitchen so it doesn't ruin the photo. If you only want me when you're on top, then you don't get to reach for my hand when you're falling. I am not the invisible daughter anymore. I am the woman who owns the shop, who owns her time, and who finally owns her own worth. So let me ask you, if your family treated you like a footnote in their success story, would you stay and keep writing their chapters? Or would you finally start your own? Tell me, Where are you watching this from? And have you ever had to choose between your family's perfect image and your own soul? I really want to know, because for the first time, the silence actually feels like peace.